There are cockroaches. There are cockroaches. Jamie Dimon said, when you see a cockroach, there are probably more. He was talking about the private credit funds. And something happened on Friday. I don't know why this isn't a big story, but BlackRock, yes, BlackRock, 12.5 trillion asset management, BlackRock, they stopped investors from pulling out of one of their private credit funds. BlackRock has a $26 billion fund called HPS. It's a private credit fund. What is private credit? Okay, well, you think of banks, it's like Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America. You're a business. You want to get a $50 million loan to expand your restaurants, and you can't get a loan because of new rules after 2008. So these asset managers have set up a new thing called private credit. So they go to high net worth individuals, retail, and they say, invest your money in this private credit fund and you'll get a bigger return, like 10%, 15%, 20% return. And this fund is $26 billion. Well, on Friday, they tried to pull out $1.2 billion of that fund. So that's a total of 9.3% of the total HPS fund. But BlackRock said no. They instituted something called a gate, which is they stopped people from withdrawing more than 5%, which was the default gate on the fund. Now, BlackRock's going to say this is just a safeguard. It's right in the fund. This is very transparent. This is just how it works. But it looks to me more like, as Jamie Dimon would say, a cockroach. All of these people wanting to pull out of this private credit situation. These are not regulated by the Fed. They don't have to necessarily keep a certain amount of cash on hand. And BlackRock is not the only company that this is happening to. Blackstone had to inject $400 million of its own cash into a private credit fund. And Blue Owl is basically handing out IOUs for withdrawals instead of actually cash for withdrawal. HPS, that fund from BlackRock, is actually currently in court over, get this, for a $400 million loan that was backed by fake invoices. And BlackRock basically wrote off a $25 million loan that was just a bad loan. So the obvious inference is the underlying product of those loans could be not great. Cockroaches, as Jamie Dimon would say. One of the largest asset management companies, $12.5 trillion, told investors that they could not take out their money on Friday. They put the gate in at 5%. Something is there. I don't want to speculate, but as Jamie Dimon would say, when you see a cockroach, there are probably more.